Batman 59, which is obviously written by Tom King, art by Mikel Janin, which I'm never disappointed to see.
Sure.
And this is much like the last issue. It plays out in two timelines. We have Batman with Penguin, and Penguin trying to tell him about Bane, and Batman being like, "I don't believe you. This is madness. You killed those women." And he's like, "No, I did that for Bane because he gave me orders. He's controlling Arkham,
Yeah.
blah blah blah." And that's intercutting with a Batman who clearly believes what Penguin's told him because he's storming Arkham Asylum and fighting his way
Uh,
through to get to Bane, who's in his cell.
a lot like he did in Santa Prisca,
Hmm.
right? So there's some homages there. I think this
Yeah.
is a little bit better done,
I
but
mean, there's not a huge amount of fighting. He fights for like
no.
10 seconds and then it's like,
But
I really
still,
want to do
I
this.
like the illusions there. Like Bane is taking over a prison, and again, like that's his thing. So of course Batman's gonna run there, and then it really reminded me of I'm just trying to blank on it, the name of it, the Shyamalan movie with the multiple personalities.
Oh, Split.
Split.
Split. There we go. Yeah, it reminded me of Split with the way that Bane was acting here. Like
Oh,
he's
I can see that.
no?
What I liked about this is that if Bane is playing Batman, right, and the
Yeah.
idea that Penguin actually is doing this under orders from Bane as well, because Bane seems
Yeah.
quite happy at the end when it finally reveals that Bane actually does know who he is and what he's doing, because
Mhm.
he plays dumb essentially. He's acting like a sort of like a catatonic person who's not really aware of what's happening.
He's acting as himself when he was a kid, right? He's
Oh
yelling
yeah,
for his
sure.
mommy. He's saying, "Don't let the water get me," and all of this stuff.
And Batman storms his way into the cell. He beats the shit out of him. He ends up punching Gordon, and immediately regrets it because the way he's like, "Oh,
Yeah,
Gordon, oh, I just I might have crossed the line there." And Gordon
yeah,
quite understandably tells him to piss off. But the whole thing is that Gordon's convinced, no, he's not left his cell. He's been under surveillance constantly
yeah.
since he came to Arkham, and it leaves you with this kind of doubt, like, because I was starting to think, is it someone else? Is someone else wearing like Bane's mask or whatever, and behind this, like, what's going on? And in the final panel, you see Bane smirking on the
Yeah.
stretcher, as Batman says to Alfred, "I don't know if he's lying. I don't know if he actually is the
Yeah.
one behind this, and he's aware of what's
Yeah.
going on."
I feel like this is heading to Batman being in Arkham, right?
I think it's very clear. Bane's objective here is, as always, to
To break the bat.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's the sense of, okay, let's make him alone. He's just then pushed away Gordon, right?
Yeah.
That's one ally gone
Yep.
already. He's pushed away Catwoman, which we know
But see,
Bane did.
but I feel like Penguin, yes, is doing this under orders of Bane. He's also running his own game because that's what Penguin does, right? Because he's a gambler. So, you know, I feel like he's doing this too.
Penguin's probably just like, yeah, go ahead. I'll do this because it'll get Batman out of my way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's enough for Penguin to go along with it.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I'm not entirely 100% on whether Bane's just asked Penguin to do this and it's all part of the game, or Bane has played Penguin and Penguin thinks he's going against Bane, but this was
Right.
actually what Bane wanted all along.
I think the former.
Mhm.
I think Bane's going. I think this is the point. He wants Batman in there to see him like this, to sow those seeds of doubt. And
yeah.
how do you get him to come in without him being told that there's something wrong?
Sure. No, I'm just saying that maybe instead of just asking Penguin to do it, he just manipulated him into doing it.
I don't think there's any need.
Maybe.
Well, because we know that Penguin is pretty upset about the death of his wife.
Yeah, that's why
We
I'm
do see
thinking
that.
maybe there's some genuine emotions in there, as opposed to
Yeah.
just...
Which we did find out now. That was that was his wife, and she was just
Yeah.
that much younger. You know.
Although the best guess I saw online, someone tweeted that as last week or 2 weeks ago when the issue came out. What was the name? What was the name of his
Penny?
wife?
Penny.
Penny. That Penny was just his favorite penguin.
Yeah, that was an idea too.
I thought that was
But
funny.
no, here that it is. So I feel like Penguin is on the edge, and Bane needed Penguin to be on that edge to get
Yeah.
Batman to believe him. You
So-
know what I mean?
What I like about it is I like that Batman is like livid. Bane wants him to know that he's behind it because Batman's shouting out as he's punching him. He's like, "You
Yeah.
did this. You got those women killed. You did this. You did that." And then I think my favorite line of the issue is when he just yells out, "You shot my boy."
Yeah.
That was you. You hired the beast.
Yeah.
I love that moment. Like, I mean,
Well, I like how it's tying all of these things together that we felt were separate still, you know, to this back plot with Bane, because I had thought that the whole Mr. Freeze thing was just kind of like a break in the overall story. But no, it seems like this is playing all into it. And Batman did, by going and sitting on the jury, that was something that Bane couldn't have accounted for, you know? So the fact that he got Freeze off, where I feel like he needed Freeze in Arkham for part of the plan. And so now this is the backup.
That's what he wanted, was
that,
Freeze in Arkham,
you know?
yeah.
So now he's pulling the break-in in case of emergency. And I feel that's what this Penguin thing is. That's why Penguin's wife ended up murdered. And it sets that up now, because he still needed to pin it back to Penguin. I feel for this to work.
Yeah, no, because as much as I hate obviously what it's done to the Nightwing book, Batman in this book, whenever he brings it up, whenever he reacts to it, whenever someone brings it up to him, has been quite effective.
Do you know what? What the problem is? It was possible to have that moment here, have him be shot, and have an injury and have him out of commission for a little bit without doing Rick Grayson.
Oh no! Obviously, we've been saying that since the start. Yeah. It didn't need to affect this.
They misplayed that hand, right? Like you play the hand that you're given, right? Yeah. But there's certain ways to play that, and I feel like they went all in on a bluff, to borrow from poker.
Yeah, I mean,
and now this is what we're stuck with.
Nightwing and Titans could have just everything's set after that he comes back. Yeah. It's fine, They can just ignore it, whatever. But they didn't do that. But in this book, at least, it's been used effectively for Batman.
I think that there could have been a story in Nightwing recovering, getting back on his feet, like knowing who he is still, but the injury is really taken out of him. It was a shot to the head. Has this affected his balance going forward? And as he's an acrobat, how bad is that for him?
Hey, he could do some cool stuff with Barbara helping, since she actually went through recovery before.
That's it. Like the whole point of the Bat right now is that none of them are alone. Whether it's Barbara or Bruce or Dick, they always have this support structure, and you just feel like with Nightwing, they decided to burn that to the ground.
Yeah, which is kind of the point. Actually, they did. It's kind of the point of what Bane's doing. He's trying to separate Batman. He's trying to make him alone.
Right.
Yeah, and there is
and
a
I get
story
that with
in
Batman, but why do we have to do that with Nightwing? You know what I mean?
Yeah. But we've been saying this since the start. We've been saying this since they announced all this crap.
Yeah, when we answered that question earlier, we don't know.
Yes.
Right.
So
I like the grand scheme of this. I like that it's pushing Batman, who everyone figures that Batman's a loner, but if you read the character as often as we do, we know that he's not, because he has Alfred, he has boys.
It's making him doubt himself, which is I think my favorite part of all this is beyond just hurting the people that he cares about. It's making him doubt his own, his.
Like, he is actually by himself now.
Can he trust himself? Is he trusting his own judgment? And he's not. He doesn't know. And this is the thing: is he's right. We know he's right. We see at the end he's right about Bane, but no one else knows that. And no, I'm digging the long game that he's playing here. Actually, I'm digging.
Yeah, he's actually breaking the bat. Like that's
breaking the bat. Yeah. Which is why I think one of the big things that will probably happen towards the end of this run is the glorious 2-page spread when every single Bat family member who's been pushed away comes to his aid, and it'll probably be this great heartwarming swell of emotion.
The only thing I have to say is, surely at the very worst we'll have Dick back by then.
We should, yeah, because
that'll
that's
still
complete
like
the
2 years away.
True. So, but at worst case scenario, Dick has to be back for a Batman 100 in full.
He has to be. Yeah.
I think he will be. I think this whole Rich Grayson stuff isn't going to be. I mean, it'll be this thing that we all forget about.
Like, we won't forget about it. It'll always be that time they did that shot.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, we'll just be like, oh yeah, this was stupid. It's not like.
Can we hire KG Beast for ourselves just so that when it's over we can erase it?
I was saying, it's not like when he was Grayson and we look back fondly at like, oh yeah, they got rid of Nightwing, but at least he was still himself.
No, I like this issue a lot. Obviously, the art's very good. Janin does his thing.
Yeah.
Penguin is grotesque. Like, oof.
Yeah. My only complaint is a couple of colouring things. This happened in the last issue as well, where there's some panels where it seems like the underside of Batman's cape is still purple. And I like that it's purple because I think it looks better as purple. I'm thinking right at the end where he's flying or gliding, more specifically. It's like the second to last page. It looks like so much lighter than everywhere else in the issue. It looks almost that purple tint. Whereas all the rest of the issue, it's just no, this is dark black. And it was even more blatant last issue where it was just straight up purple. And it made me want the purple again, but with this costume.
I don't think it looks purple to me in that second last page.
No, it looks like it's edging towards that light purple to me.
It just looks like it's the for shading purposes it's lighter on that side because all the city lights are hitting it.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I'm not feeling purple there, but fair enough. I like just a simple little touch, but just to separate the timelines easily. All the stuff in Arkham where he's going after Bane are oranges and yellows, and it's very, very warm. Not that it wants a warm feeling, but just in the sense that it's more hot and dangerous. Whereas all the stuff with Penguin's all cold and blue, and it's just a simple colouring thing just to make it really clear whenever you go scene to scene. I think it's just the
assumption that the blue ones are, that's past. So the warm and orange is present.
Yeah,
is how.
But it's also what Pete is saying too. It's one's very action oriented. The other one's very mellow, and it's
because the blue one is essentially just two characters standing, looking at each other for most of it. So it fits the tone of what's happening in the scenes. Plus, it's also more of a somber mood because Penguin's talking about the loss of his wife and how it's drove him to this.
Which would probably have more effect if we'd at least realised it was a wife.
Yeah.
It's hard to have any sort of caring when it's like, okay, Penguin's going on about something, but we literally had a conversation about who is this person.
Right.
Yeah.
Just loses a bit of effect when it's supposed to be a big part of his motivation right now.
But I like this issue a lot. This was, I mean, it's actually been pretty solid for a while now. I mean, I think, ever since the freeze trial stuff, I've been pretty much mostly on board with it. So I guess we'll rate Batman issue 59. Matt, what are you giving it?
This is a 8. I liked it a lot.
Connor?
Yeah, it's probably my favourite issue in a while. I'll give it a 7.5.
I will go 8.5. I thought the emotion was there. I love Bane's smirk at the end. I love what it tells us and how much is under his skin.
Yeah. I think it's a son of a bitch moment where you see him smirking. Wow, son of a bitch.